Pochettino to Manchester United increasingly close. Pogba returns to training and is up for selection up against the game against Middlesbrough. I think they are close to 3-4 months him out of action for Manchester United. And David De Gea has been named the Manchester United Player of the Month, Premier League Player of the Month, third time this season. Welcome to Manchester United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of R Radio to this channel to bring you all the latest information and news that is really coming from all corners of the world in here. As Pochettino to Manchester United is close, Pogba to Manchester United has been told by the club that please wait until we bring in a new manager. That's when you are supposed to make up your new decision, something that I don't think that really matters a lot to Paul Pogba, because recently a story really came out indicating that Pogba would like to stay at Manchester United if at all Ralf Rangnick is going to be the manager of Manchester United, sorry, the permanent manager of Manchester United. So that's what is happening right now in the camp of Manchester United. 3 stories in one, and here is how we are really going to do them in here. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to our channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. I go by the names of Rokan David, aka RD, onto this channel, and let's start onto this. Today, David De Gea has been named the Manchester United Premier League player, the Manchester United Player of the Month in there, meaning that 3 times this season he has been voted the Player of the Month in there. What does that indicate? When a goalkeeper comes out to be voted the Player of the Month, because the Player of the Month is the best player at the team, you get? He's the best player at the club during that month. That means he is so exposed and your defense is always approached very easily by the opponent in there. So that means this comes out and indicates that United has not been performing very well. That's why David De Gea has been voted the Player of the Month, because that means they have been reaching him very closely and easily. So that's why he has come up to pull up very good saves in there, and he has been voted the Player of the Month. And secondly, if at all United has been scoring very many goals, you would have found that either Ronaldo or Bruno Fernandes in there and Mason Greenwood, whom he was competing with, would have won it, because there is no way a goalkeeper will come in and compete with a player who has scored like 4 goals in a full, like if at all United plays 4 games in a month of the Premier League and like the Champions League, and that person scores close to 5 or 6 goals in all those games. There is no way David De Gea can come and beat him. Remember Ronaldo, when he really won those consecutively, it was because of his goal scoring rate in the Champions League and the Premier League. So that's when he really won those Premier League, those Manchester United Player of the Month awards in there. So meaning he was the best performer at Manchester United. And right about now, the best performer at Manchester United is David De Gea. That's it. He's the best player at Manchester United, and I think he beat Bruno Fernandes and Mason Greenwood on to this one in there, and he was voted the Manchester United Player of the Month in there by the fans, and he really deserves it. But it's an indicator that he is really the best player of Manchester United, and we are really relying more onto him. We are known to a level of really coming out and competing out other players at Manchester United. So that's congratulations, David De Gea, but United needs to go in and do a lot onto that, because we deserve more to that in there. So remember, tomorrow at 2 p.m. GMT, it's Ralf Rangnick press conference, a presser that's really going to be having lots of things, because I know he's a man who doesn't really fear any questions, and he answers those questions in there. And we expect him to come through and do the needful and tell us what is really going to happen in the FA Cup as United plays a team which goes by names of Middlesbrough in there. I really feel like that game is really going to be good, and we expect lots of things to come through at Manchester United. But that presser, expect it for a man who goes by names of Ralf Rangnick, is really going to come through and talk to media tomorrow, 2 p.m. GMT. You know that very well. He's really going to come out and tell us what he thinks about the new team in there, the players that stayed. Why did he sanction off? Why did he clear Lingard to leave and Dean Henderson, and the board really said they are going nowhere? Because for him as the coach, he has really evaluated his team, that the members that he was really left with would have taken him through the season. But how come the board stopped the players he really sanctioned to leave, or he gave a French leave, and they didn't go by his word in there. Is he a puppet? Those are some of the questions I really expect to go into the press conference, because it's really going to be enjoying in there. So we expect that press conference 12 hours from now. That press conference is going to be on. And by the way, for the very first time, I might come up and do a press conference reaction, because I really feel like that press conference is really going to be hot. Lots of things are really going to be talked about by Ralf Rangnick, even the future of Pogba and other managers being linked to the job of Manchester United, because Ralf Rangnick came out clearly and said that if at all he is given a chance to become the permanent manager of Manchester United, he won't turn it down. He said that on the first presser that he did, that was on a Friday after United had beaten Arsenal and Michael Carrick had thrown in a towel that he was not going to be the Manchester United manager or to work with Ralf Rangnick anymore, and he said that he needed a rest from what he was doing in there. So that's what Rangnick is really going to tackle in there, because he told us on his first presser that obviously, however much he was brought in here and he signed a 2-year contract with the Manchester United, that if at all they bring in a permanent manager who is not him, he will push up on the board and this manager will take over. So after that, he also told us that however, if at all he's being given the permanent job of Manchester United, he won't let it down. He would love to be the next manager of Manchester United, not the interim, but the permanent manager of Manchester United. Ralf Rangnick came out and said that in there, and that leads us to the story, the other two stories of the day that really include Pogba, Pochettino, Danny Van Beek, and Anthony Martial, Eric Bay inclusive, and a player who goes by names of Lingard plus Dean Henderson in there. So smash the like button, comment and share, please, and please feel free to come to our channel and tell us what you think about these close to 3-4 stories that we've compiled into this late hour of the night. Now, Manchester United have really come out and told Paul Pogba that please don't hurry to make a decision of where you're going to play next, because you don't know who our next manager is going to be. So first let us bring in the next manager at Manchester United, and then you'll come up and tell us, and you decide. That's when you're going to make up your future, because you might bring in a manager who is really going to come up and keep you at Manchester United and make you better. You get? So this call did not only go to Pogba, it went to Anthony Martial, it went to Eric Bay, it went to Dean Henderson, it went to Danny Van Beek in there, and Lingard, close to 5 players in there whom we expect not to be having by the end of the next summer transfer window, because all these players want to play the World Cup, especially Danny Van Beek and Anthony Martial really look like they're Danny Van Beek, Lingard, and Anthony Martial, and Dean Henderson. Those 4 players really feel like they have the potential to go and play for their respective national teams at the World Cup. And why have not they been considered always is because they don't get enough playing time at Manchester United. That's why you saw Anthony Martial pushing for a move to go to Sevilla, because he wants to play these 4 months at Sevilla very well, such that he impresses the manager who goes by the names of Didier Deschamps, and then he really calls him up, because even when Anthony Martial has not been performing at Manchester United or playing game in, game out, he has been called. He has always been called by Deschamps in there, and I think he really had a word with Deschamps, and Deschamps told him, you are 26 years old, you've been at Manchester United for 7 years, you have not been given a chance to prove yourself. You get one good season, and the next season you are not really favored as other players. So better go out and look for a club, because if at all you don't play consistently, I'm not going to take you to Qatar, because France has already qualified for the World Cup. The same applies to Netherlands, and those are the same words that Anthony Martial shifted and told Ralf Rangnick that I've been here for 7 years. I've done the best for Manchester United. I feel like I should try something else. And when you look at Anthony Martial, he's in Sevilla, he's training in there very well, and he looks well and happy and smiling, you get? So he is really going to get his career back on the road, I'm 100% sure, and this is going to help him get to the French national team in the World Cup in Qatar. He missed out in 2016 because of how Jose Mourinho treated him, not giving him enough playing time, yet the previous season that saw a man who goes by the names of Louis van Gaal, who bought him from Monaco at close to £53 million in there. He had scored 16 goals in there, 16 goals at the age of 19. I think he was the first Manchester United player to score those goals at that age in his debut season. He scored 16 goals. That is Anthony Martial in there for you. So Anthony Martial has been told that please don't hurry to make your decision. hold in there. When you bring in a new manager, you'll talk to him, and the new manager will either tell you that I'm in your plan, you are in my plans, or not in there. But that applies to players like Danny Van Beek, Dean Henderson, and Anton Martial, because all of them, they really have close to 3 years left of their contracts at Manchester United. But that cannot apply to Lingard and Paul-Ebile Pogba, because Paul-Ebile Pogba, by the time it comes the summer, United won't be having any responsibility onto him. Never, they won't, because his contract will be done. The same applies to Jesse Lingard. His contract will be off, and they'll be free agents. You get? And Paul Pogba will be talking to Manchester United as a free agent, and he will tell them that, please, I'm having an offer of £500,000 from PSG a week. Are you giving me that money because you have been giving me 400? He has rejected that contract for the previous 2 years. Paul-Ebile Pogba in there for you. For the previous 2 years, Paul-Ebile Pogba has said no to that contract that United has been offering him, and it really went that way in there. So I really want to come and tell you that it's really going to be a very funny moment for Manchester United, because the board is yet exposed again by delaying really to complete these contracts of these players, and they don't want to listen to these players, because the reason of Paul Pogba for not renewing his contract at Manchester United is obviously known. Very many people come out and say, no, it's because he has an agent who goes by the names of Mino Raiola. Mino Raiola wants to this other goalkeeper of Italy. He's called who? Gianluigi Donnarumma. Yeah, he wants to do a Donnarumma to Manchester United because he did it to AC Milan. Donnarumma kept on telling AC Milan that, please, I'm really going to come up and renew my contract. You get? And that wasn't the case. When the time reached, Donnarumma agreed a deal to join PSG and is earning lots and lots of money. That's what Mino Raiola does best. You get? He is a man who considers lots of money in there. But to me, I don't agree with that scenario. If at all Manchester United were really performing and winning trophies, all promising that they are really going to win trophies, I think it would have been very, very easy for Paul Pogba to come in and sign that contract. I relate this to the situation of Bruno Fernandes. Do you know that Bruno Fernandes earns £150,000 a week ever since he came in at Manchester United? After he played for 1 year or 2 years, they told him, we've put a new contract on your table. We want to be giving you £200,000 a week. Please, are you going to add some 1 year onto your contract or 2 years? And Bruno Fernandes has gone ahead to tell United, I'm not going to renew that contract now. I have to see how things go on because of what is happening on the pitch of Manchester United, because United isn't promising. You get? However much we have good quality players, but the management at Manchester United has not convinced these players enough to commit themselves more to Manchester United, because ever since Bruno came in, arguably, no player is better than him at Manchester United. Can you name any player who is better than Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United? That player is nowhere. No player is better than Bruno. No player is at the level of Bruno Fernandes. That player is not there at Manchester United. So I really feel like he has all the rights. He has all the rights to come in and say, I'm not going to sign. So if I told Bruno Fernandes, who is one of the best performing players on the pitch and is earning £150,000 a week, says he's not going to come in through and renew his contract or extend his contract to commit himself more to Manchester United, do you think a Paul-Ebile Pogba, who is left with just 6 months, can come out and commit himself to the club? Because these players talk to one another, because they have their WhatsApp groups, they have their WhatsApp numbers, and they really have one-on-one talk sometimes. And I really feel like Pogba can really hold a very good conversation with a player who goes by names of Bruno and tells him, look at United, look at how we are playing. We are not playing very well. This is not what you're supposed to be playing like. This is not United. You get how much people say that these players don't respect the shadow of Manchester United in there. They do, but trust me not, they are really good players. They love this club. They are not here for money, because if Bruno was here for money, he would have already renewed his contract and told them, please, if Paul-Ebile Pogba wants to be given a contract of £400,000 a week, I perform better than him, get me £500,000 a week, because that means you are here for money. But Bruno has shown that he's not here for money, because even when a new extension of his salary or increase to his salary has been proposed by Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes has gone ahead to turn this down and tell them, please, no, That's not me. That's not how I do my things. I really feel like the right time for me to renew my contract or commit myself more to Manchester United is coming, because when you look at Bruno Fernandes, his stats are really ridiculous. They are really good, because recently, I think on the 29th of January, he made 2 years at Manchester United ever since he arrived. But when you look at his stats, oh my God, Bruno Fernandes has been involved in very many goals and very many assists in there. He has close to 100 plus. All right, this is the thing I was looking for it. Bruno Fernandes, ever since coming at Manchester United, he has played 2 years ago. He joined Manchester United. He has played 108 games. He has scored 47 goals and 36 assists. That means Bruno Fernandes has been involved in 83 goals this season. Sorry, ever since coming at Manchester United. Who has such a rating for this lad? No one. No one really has a rating for this club, for this player at Manchester United. That is Bruno Fernandes in there for you. And that's what I'm telling you, that him being the best player performing at Manchester United, and United handing him a new contract and says, I'm not going to sign it. What does that communicate to you? Simple. It shows that there are a lot of uncertainties going on at Manchester United that Bruno is not convinced to commit himself at Manchester United more. The same applies to Pogba and other players in there. Leave alone the story of Andy Herrera, because for Andy Herrera, it was very 100% clear that he wanted a salary of £200,000 a week. He never wanted to leave Manchester United. United told him, we can't really give you that salary in there, and they lost a player who was worth close to £30 million, and he was one of the most performing players at Manchester United. And that was a very big blow even right now. And when it comes to Pogba, who is really so much big when it comes to social media, and he's affiliated to companies like Pepsi, Adidas in there, they tell him, please, we want to give you a contract of £400,000 a week. Could you please stay? And however much I love Pogba to be at Manchester United, I don't really feel like he's worth it, because we are really going to break our wage scale, because Ronaldo coming in and earning close to £500,000 a week, no player at Manchester United is going to come out and argue. He's not going to come and argue that, oh, I'm better than Ronaldo, because Ronaldo is a god. He's one of the greatest of all time. There is no way we're going to come out and say, oh, I want to earn like Ronaldo. But if at all Pogba is going to be given a contract equal to that of Ronaldo, or equivalent to that of Ronaldo, then that means even other players have a chance to say, please, can you get me 500 because I've done more than Paul Pogba to the pitch? You get? When you look at our salary scale, it's really going to be ridiculous. If I told Ronaldo £500,000 a week, Pogba £500,000 a week, Jadon Sancho, I think is it 35? £350,000 a week. Rafael Varane is around £300,000 a week. Anton Martial, 250. Harry Maguire, 200. Luke Shaw, around 250. Rashford is also going to renew his contract, because I think he's left like 1 or 2 years on his contract. They are into negotiations with Manchester United too. He will come in and call for that. So it shows you that if Paul Pogba, an inconsistent player at the club, gets £500,000 a week, even others will come in and say, please, we want to get that same amount of money a week, because we are performing more than Paul Pogba, and you are going to set a yardstick. If you give Paul Pogba that money and contract, you are giving a yardstick. Now, why do you tell him that, please, don't leave Manchester United before the new manager comes in? Yet a story leaked out recently saying that Paul Pogba is convinced to stay at Manchester United if at all Ralf Rangnick stays or remains the manager of Manchester United. You get? And I really feel like Paul Pogba has seen a lot of footballing sense and footballing ideas, new coaching at Manchester United in Ralf Rangnick. Now feels like, all right, I think United now there is some green light. There is a light at the end of the tunnel in there. So that's what Pogba is feeling. But who is really going to come up and stop this from happening? You get? Because Rangnick wants this job. Manchester United look like they are so much into the news to fumble left, right, and center, to come in and really tell us that they're talking of the next permanent Manchester United manager, and that's why they never even came up and made signings in the summer. In the winter January transfer. That's what they come out and said. That's what I've heard Fabrizio Romano with my own ears and watched him with my own eyes coming out and saying that. So Paul Pogba coming out and saying Rangnick stays, I renew my contract at Manchester United and I'm going to stay here. And the board has come out to leak a story that Paul Pogba has been told to delay his future decision on where he's going to be next season until United brings in a new manager. Now, why is the board trying to play on our minds? Because they let out a story that they are really willing to give Rangnick the permanent role of a manager at Manchester United, and now they are really telling us that they are telling these players, they are telling Paul Pogba, Danny Van Beek, Jesse Lingard, Dean Henderson and Anton Martial that please, before you decide on your next future, where you're going to be next season, please, first wait to see which manager are we bringing at Manchester United. I just go out and ask myself, who is fooling who? Because when you add all these three stories, one of Paul Pogba coming out and saying that I would love to stay at Manchester United and renew my contract if at all Ralf Rangnick remains or is given the permanent role to manage Manchester United. A second story comes in. Manchester United are so much confident and believe that Ralf Rangnick can be given the role to manage Manchester United permanently. Then after like 2 or 3 days, another story comes up saying that Manchester United has told all its players that feel like are unhappy at the club to delay to make their decision on where they are going to be playing next season until they bring in a manager. This is spin, total spin at Manchester United. This is spin in there. And I want to let you know that this is what Manchester United wants, because the more they eye the news, the more they impress the companies or the sponsors that they work with or the brands, because the more the name Manchester United is everywhere. Just know, let me give you a scenario. When you look at, if you're talking about Paul Pogba, you have a website or a YouTube channel, you are really going to put him as a thumbnail or a feature image onto your YouTube or website respectively. And guess what? Paul Pogba will be putting on a shirt that has Team Viewer onto it. That means the sponsor like Team Viewer is benefiting more and more and more. You get? So such things, United likes them most because each and every time they are talked about a lot, they benefit because their brand extends and their partners get a lot of momentum and lots of gains in there. So Paul Pogba and other players have been told, please don't leave Manchester United and don't hurry to make your decisions on where you're going to be playing next season until bringing a new manager. So we wait and see what other story is going to come out tomorrow. And that story has led us to another story that has gone out of the news that Manchester United are increasingly, that Pochettino's chances to join Manchester United are increasingly close. You get? That story has been reported by very many people in there from France, and what sparked off this story was a story from France that said that Pochettino is nearing, is on the blink of being sacked by PSG. And the reason they've given is, it's not because PSG is 11 points clear, you get, because PSG winning the French League 1 title is not news to them, and it does not even impress the chairman. What the chairman wants, he wants PSG to win a Champions League. You get? And this is evident because Thomas Tuchel, who is a current manager at Chelsea, was sacked from the job of PSG after losing after losing a Champions League finale to a team which goes by the names of Bayern Munich. You get? He was sacked. Now, what if Pochettino, who is playing Real Madrid in the round of 16, is knocked out? Do you think he's going to survive a knife? So that's where the story has been built and hinged on Pochettino coming to Manchester United, because most reporters in France are saying that if at all Real Madrid beats Pochettino and gets him out of the Champions League, it's going to be a done deal. It's going to be a done deal, and Pochettino will be sacked from the job of PSG. Then later, they think that Manchester United will eventually get him on contract and they do a pre-contract and tell him, please, can you not go or sign to any other club, because we liked you when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was still here, and you didn't really come here because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went ahead to perform very well. And the only thing we are requesting you to do is help us and get this contract on table, and you'll be our next manager in the summer. That's what United are planning. And trust me, United will grab that chance. You get? They'll grab that chance immediately, because it will be cheaper getting him when he's sacked. When you look at a clause into the contract that Pochettino has with the team which goes by the names of PSG, if at all anyone wants to take him as a manager, they're supposed to pay close to 30 million euros in there. You get, to terminate the contract that he has with PSG. So United will be hurriedly go into there and do the needful. And when you look at the game that they're really going to play against a team which goes by the names of Real Madrid, it's on the 23rd of February and 15th of March. So between the 23rd of February and the 15th of March, we will be 100% knowing whether Pochettino is going to stay on the job of a team which goes by names of PSG in there, because the only thing that is really going to keep him on the job of PSG is him going ahead to win these Champions League games. You get? And if at all he doesn't, they are really going to sack him. If at all he does not win the Champions League, they are going to sack him. Why? They sacked Thomas Tuchel, who never had Messi into the team. He only had Neymar, Di Maria, Mbappe, Icardi. You get? But guess what additions Pochettino has? Pochettino has Donnarumma. He has Sergio Ramos. He has Jorginho Wijnaldum. He has Lionel Messi. He has Hakimi. 5 big additions. World-class players, proven even. So if at all they manage to sack a manager in whose squad those 5 players I've mentioned were not included, and now your squad, you have them into it, if you don't win a Champions League, tell me any reason that will be given for him to survive a sack. No reason. And that is a very good benchmark that has been given, because these teams are really winning-oriented teams. Not winning games, but winning trophies. You get? Winning trophies in there. They are very much oriented. They are very much focused on winning titles. Not to go out in there and win games and not win titles, because you can win games but you cannot win titles. Titles are not easily won. You get? PSG saw itself reach the Champions League final, and it did do nothing to Bayern Munich. You get? They saw themselves reach the semi-final of the Champions League, and they were knocked out by Man City, the recent season, the recent Champions League that has been concluded in there. So to me, I will feel like it's something that Pochettino to Manchester United is increasingly happening. And the reason as to why they are saying that Pochettino is edging a manager who goes by the names of Ten Hag is that Pochettino has a Premier League experience. He has been at the Premier League, he knows how the Premier League works, and he really proved when he was at Spurs that he can really come up and compete in there. And I really come out and say that, to me, Ten Hag is good and Pochettino is good. But at the level at which Manchester United is at, we have to first settle things that are into Manchester United that are stopping us from really competing at the level you're supposed to be competing. That's what Ralph Rangnick came out and said, that if at all you are at Manchester United and you are not willing to fight for this shirt of Manchester United, he wants you out, because Manchester United is a big club. No player should put United onto its knees for him to play for United. That's what he came out and said clearly in there. So that means Rangnick has to first clear all this out. And for me, I don't care whether Pochettino comes in or Ten Hag, because all of them are good managers. But have we cleaned out? Have we cleared out all those messes, the cliques in the dressing room? You get? Has the board really come out and known that Richard Arnold, the replacement of Ed Woodward, should handle the business part of Manchester United, and the footballing decisions should be left for Ralph Rangnick and Motaf, you get, plus Darren Fletcher. Let them do the footballing decisions. And all I want at Manchester United, I want United to come up and build a style of play, a culture, you get, a culture at Manchester United, because the only way we are going to see United get out of this, because we are nearing a decade without winning a Premier League or a Champions League. You get? The only way you're going to get out of this is us getting a manager or a footballing director or a football consultant like Frank Ragnick to set us a new style of play. We have to be having a culture such that we are like teams like Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich set a culture of play. There is the way they play their things in there. So they just bring in the manager to come and fit into the club style of play, not the players to fit into the style of play of the manager. You get? That's what United needs to do. Thereafter, if that is done, then I won't be having any argument on who is going to come in, whether Pochettino, whether Ten Hag, whether Brendan Rodgers, whether Zinedine Zidane, whether Lopetegui, whether who, name any coach around the world. But what we have to do first at Manchester United is to get a style of play. We should build a culture such that it's the manager who fits into our style of play, not the players that we have to fit into our style of play. That's why Bayern Munich has specific kind of players they buy. Even if they have no manager, they can go into the market because they know that we need a player who plays in a system like this and this and this and this. You get? Not what Manchester United has been doing. The reason as why we've suffered a lot ever since Alex Ferguson left, we've brought in managers whose philosophies don't match. David Moyes' philosophy does not match that of Louis van Gaal. That of Louis van Gaal is so much different from that of Jose Mourinho. That of Jose Mourinho was so much different from that of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is so much different from the manager interim right now, who goes by the names of Ralf Rangnick. You get? So it shows you that the problem at Manchester United is not who is the manager. The problem at Manchester United is the board accepting that don't be involved into making footballing decisions. Let's get in Ralf Rangnick on the top. Let's get a style of play at Manchester United, and then we are really going to get back to winning ways, because that 13 points that we are always off the winner of the league are brought about by us not having a footballing culture. Because a footballing culture, you have to know the kind of players you have at Manchester United, but sometimes the board just goes in and brings in a player, you get, not knowing whether the manager will allow him or not, you get. So I really feel like United should get to a level of not being used by the board, and the board and the footballing director should really sit up and decide on which style of play United should be playing, such that we sign in players that are really fitting into our system. You get? So that's what we had for you. 3 stories into there. I just want to see you guys go into the comment section and tell me what you think about these stories of Pochettino to Manchester United increasingly close, Paul Pogba's future delayed, because United have really told him that please wait until we get in a new manager. Sorry, one story that I don't told you about is Pogba returned in training and is going to be up for selection in tomorrow's game against a team which goes by names of Middlesbrough. In there, Manchester United is really going to be hosting Middlesbrough in the FA Cup 4th round. Remember, United had to play and get out the side which goes by names of Aston Villa by 1-0, and they proceeded to the next round in there, meaning that if at all United hit Middlesbrough out, that means United will be at the quarter-final in there. And I will feel like we should get in a trophy. You get? We should get in a trophy. Yeah, we should get in a trophy, and I will feel like we are going to miss out on the Champions League competition in there and battling for the FA Cup because of a central defensive midfield problem that was not solved in the winter January transfer window. So I will feel like United needs to come in and address this issue and do the needful. Even lastly, Mason Greenwood has been released. He has been released on bail. You get? They have not yet charged him, and he has been released on bail. We wait and see how the proceedings are really going to go, but we say to it that the law take its course in there, and you know, in England you are innocent until proven guilty. I go by the names of Rokan David, aka R. Add to this channel, smash the like button, comment and share, and if at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to our channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. I'm out. See you later, my mates. Good night.